And lastly, overall, my final and most important goal for 2020 as well as the entire decade is to just let go of fear.
That still remains timely.
With each passing day, I find it much more difficult to understand certain positions and certain predicaments I put myself into. But with another round of 365 days to round out this year of 366, it's slowly becoming more interesting, I should say. It's a lot easier to ask why and to get the proper answer of why not. But hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, and welcome back to the final video of this year on my channel. And just like I did last year, I'm going to round off this year with a reflection as well as a look as a glance. That's not the word. With eyes looking forward. There you go. I'll leave it there. About what's to come and what I can expect to do, or what you all can expect in the new year. And before we get into that big discussion, I actually just wanted to go over the 9 goals I actually set for this year, and just to see how many I actually did achieve. And I only did 9, and after just reviewing the video I made last year, which was very nice in my own opinion, but I made it, so I don't know how you all would I don't know how you all would actually judge that, but it was a nice video to me. At least it helped me remember a lot of things that I've done, and I honestly can appreciate that. And yeah, I can just appreciate it a lot. But the goals I set for 2020, number 1 was to publish the first issue of my comic book. The second one was to change my environment. The third one was to invest more money into my portfolio, as well as invest more time into people. And number 4 was to examine the cost of my actions and my inactions, most importantly. Number 5 was to travel more, and in particular, I wanted to travel internationally, a lot more to other countries and things of that nature. Number 7 was to promote this channel past what I had been doing at the time. Number 8 was to work and collaborate with other artists and creators. This one actually was not in the video, and I'm kind of mad that I left it out, but I didn't notice it until today, as of when I'm recording this, almost a year later. So I'm not even going to change that. But lastly, overall, my main goal, number 9, was to let go of fear. And as you are listening to this, it's all of these goals are feasible, but out of those 9, I only didn't do I did not achieve 2 in particular. I didn't publish my comic, and I didn't travel internationally. But those 2 things kind of took a back burner. I mean, they took the back seat compared to a lot of the things that I ended up doing this year that I didn't even know I wanted to do until I did them. And I'm actually going to get into those in like a minute or so. But I changed my environment. I invested a lot of money and a lot of time into both my portfolios, which includes the stock market, cryptocurrency, as well as precious metals. And I'll get into that a little bit later. I looked at what it cost for me to not do something and what it cost for me to do something. Looked at my actions and my inactions. And all of these really didn't happen because, all of these wouldn't have happened if I didn't do number 9, which was the most important one, which was to let go of fear. And I didn't understand this in the best way possible until I finally read, or at least not really, because I didn't even finish the book, but I finally started to read Frank Herbert's Dune. And that book was a nice reflection about what I wanted to do in words, because sometimes you don't know how to properly phrase something until you phrase it. And then once you actually say it, you're able to do it a lot better than you just taking the action and not having the vision behind it. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So with those being said, again, I achieved 7 out of the 9 goals I set last year. And this time, without even honestly paying too much attention to it, I kind of set 8 goals. So I set less goals this year. I set less goals for next year than I did for this year. So lesser excuses can be made to not do these things. But I'm just going to share these with you all, and I want to get your thoughts in the comments as well. So please comment below after this video, or even like right now, and tell me what your goals for 2021 are, as well as what were your goals for 2020 as well. Can't say 2022 just yet. But anyway, the first goal that I am setting out the first goal is that I plan to make $100,000 in the year of 2021. And that means I'm going to make 6 figures in general. So if I can make $100,005, I will have achieved my goal. I always like to push past it a little bit, but the way that I actually want to achieve that is by continuously investing into my portfolios as well as into my craft, which is creation in general. I've never really been just an artist who draws or who paints or anything like that. I always make stuff. And now, in this year in particular, well, in 2020, I was pushed to create more with less, or I was pushed to create more with new things that I was not comfortable with using. And yeah, that's kind of how that came to be. I got into videography, I got into cinematography, color grading. I got into editing videos a lot more, and that allowed this channel to look a little more polished and things of that nature when I was able to do it, because that's another thing. But yeah, additionally, this is another goal that's going to actually help. I want to invest into a real estate property. I want to buy a house, or even not really a house. It could just be a duplex. I actually kind of want to buy a duplex, just because of how you can house hack with that. I can't say too much about that just yet, because that one isn't set in stone too much. But the way I'm going to do that is going to be a little later into the list. But that's goal number 1. Goal number 1 is to make $100,000 by the end of the year, or a year from now. And that one's going to be fun, because I don't have a plan for it in the way that I should, but I'm going to keep honing myself onto that plan. But I also want to have fun as well. My second goal for the year is to change my perspective again towards networking and traveling and traveling. This year I didn't travel as much as I wanted to. Again, I didn't travel internationally. So now I'm actually going to set in stone a couple of dates that I want to travel. Hopefully everything is better by the time I want to travel, because I'm planning on traveling in the summer when it's a little warmer, so it's going to be a bit more comfortable, kind of, maybe, partially. I'm not too sure if it's going to be helpful or if it's even going to be feasible, but I don't care. I'm making the plan now, so I have no excuses. That's frightening, but still, that's how that's going to work. I've been networking with a lot of people all year, and we're still on goal number 2, but I've learned the value in people, and that's one thing that I want to continue to push. And I've learned the value in myself, and I want to keep going in that direction, because self-actualization is something that I am truly a fan of, and I am truly a paragon of, because it's something that we all can achieve, and it's something that we all should work to achieving. But that's kind of how that works. I just want to change my perspective, and I want to travel a lot more, and in doing that, I will have a changed perspective, and a better perspective as well. Again, that's why I wanted to do it this year, but you all know how that went. And the third goal is actually, I just wrote it as a sentence. Wrote 2 of these as a sentence. It is, I will travel to Texas in June of 2021, and I will travel to Denmark in July of 2021. These are probably going to be about 2 weeks in between each other, because I have a friend in Texas that I really want to visit, and I've known her for so long, and I've never been to Texas, so I have 2 reasons to go. The same thing goes for Denmark, and I wanted to go to Denmark this year just because I wanted to. I actually moved Germany around from the goal that I set in 2019. I set my first country to be Germany in 2019, so I would have had been traveling to Germany this year, but I changed it, and I decided to go to Denmark, but unfortunately I couldn't. But that didn't stop me from getting my passport, learning about how cheap flights can be if you time them properly. Always order your flights on a Monday or a Tuesday. They are always the cheapest on a Monday or a Tuesday for some reason. And then the return flights are always cheapest on a Tuesday and a Thursday. I don't know why. It is so weird. But it's probably because they're like in the middle of the week. I don't know. It was weird. But yeah, those are the 2 parts of my third goal of this year. So number 4 is stemming a little bit back to number 2, but it is, I will add more value to my life and the lives of my family and friends. I kind of did this year because of how the year and how quarantine has allowed me at least to reflect. A little bit of solitary confinement has allowed me to reflect on the meaning of life and all that good stuff, and what my purpose is in life. And I didn't realize what my real purpose was until I decided to write it down. And then it took me 3 months to realize what I was actually writing was my purpose. I had been writing down an affirmation that I started doing because of Think and Grow Rich, when I read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill in October. Wow. I'm all over today. I read the book in June of 2020. June of this year. June, 6 months ago. And after I finished the book, I was just prompted, even though the book just tells you, I was prompted to write down an affirmation every day. Something that I want to do, that will happen as long as I work to doing it. And every day since, I've always done something to work towards that goal. And that thing I wrote, that affirmation, I can share it with you all. It is, there is one thing I want in this world that I am determined to have. and that is my own show, starring my own characters. I've created to inform, inspire, and entertain the world, and make the art of storytelling better. I will burn all bridges behind me and stake my entire future on my ability to get what I want. And then after about 2 months, I added the phrase "I will" to the end of it. And that goal, every time I write it down, I look at how selfish it is because it's something that I want. And I'm not certain about how I want to actually rephrase it at least. And every time I look at it, I'm just like, yeah, I want this. But also I want this as well. Meaning I want something else. And the other thing that I want is what my actual purpose is. And it's the purpose of my business. And it's the vision and the mission of my business. And that is to inform, inspire, and entertain the world and make the art of storytelling better. I can't do that unless I better myself, which is why I like the phrase and like self-actualization so much, because once I achieve that goal truly, I'll be able to do anything within reason, obviously. But because of that, I'm just walking more in my purpose, and I realize that I want to add more value because of my purpose to the lives of my family and my friends, and obviously not just them, but they're just closer to me. I want to add more value to my enemies as well, as along with anybody I come across. And I always find myself helping people whenever I get the chance, honestly, even when they don't want to be helped or when they help themselves. And that's just my character, apparently. It's hard to I'm shaking right now because it's cold in the room. Ugh. And I haven't had any water. But it's hard to shake that type of character trait off when you actually like helping people. It's hard to say that and be serious with yourself when you think that you don't want to do that, when you actually enjoy doing that, when you enjoy helping people. So that's how the fourth goal of the year works. But number five is one that I wanted to do in 2019, but I never figured out how, meaning that I was too lazy to look up how to do it, basically. But that was, I want to start live streaming more of my work, live streaming more of my process as well. When I say that, I do want to start live streaming on Twitch, but I also want to live stream on YouTube as well, just to see how it works, just to see how the process is going to work. I've done live streams on Instagram Live, and wasn't really too much support there, so I kind of just stopped doing it. But it was fun while I was doing it. I think my last live on Instagram was actually in January of 2020. Wow. Wow. That's a biggie. But anyway, yeah, I want to start live streaming more of my work, and I want to start interacting with people in a more live format as well. And I see myself doing that anyway, just because of how I can talk to people. It's weird, but the way I talk to people is just a little different. Yeah. I kind of, I forgot that was. My interactions are better when I actually have people to interact with, and it's not just me talking to myself currently like I am right now, but I'm more talking to you all, actually. Let me rephrase that. So that's number 5. Number 6 for my goal is to I will read 70 books for the year. For the year 2021, I want to read 70 books. But for this goal, I've actually allowed myself to be a bit more flexible because of what I did this year. This year I read a lot more books that were chunky and they were super informative about storytelling, about investing, about life and philosophy and theology in general. And because of that, I only read about 50 or so books this year. And yeah, some people might scoff or laugh, I should say, because you only read 50 books. Oh man, I've only read 3 books this year. Some stuff like that. But reading is important to me. That's why I made the goal last year to, well, this year I made the goal this year to read so much more, because I wanted to practice reading comprehension for one, but make sure I can articulate my words, because I just, that's something that I prefer to do, so people understand what I say. And there are times where I get so confused where I can't even articulate how to say certain things. But reading helps me actually do that. And a lot of the books I read were in line with my purpose. They were informative, they were inspirational, and they were entertaining. From reading the guide to investing in gold and silver, which helped me understand how to invest in silver and precious metals in general, all the way to The Alchemist by Pablo Coelho, which was a great book. Just a great book. Just a great book. That also gives me the idea of illustrating pages as a series on this channel, which I have been experimenting with for about a year now, but I don't really know how to. I've been thinking about it for a year, but I don't really know how to do it. That's how that works. But mostly going on to number 7 of the goal of my goals for this year. I want to make some short films. I am currently in the process of making a documentary called First Served. It is the little pitch of it is it's a mini short film about the food pantry at my church. They just supply a lot of the needs of that community in South Atlanta, and I just wanted to document it and tell that story. Again, that's why that's in line with my purpose as well. Again, storytelling and bettering it as well by informing, inspiring, and entertaining. And that's just something that I want to keep doing and I want to do more of, because it's nice. I like it. So because of that, I want to make some short films. And I don't know how many I want to make. I'm probably going to give it 3, because I actually want to do the work of writing a script, putting together a little vision board, putting stuff together on a whiteboard, having actors, if I need to, having actors act those scenes out. Excuse me. As well as like putting the environments together, putting all the sets together. I won't have to do too much of that. I'm going to be filming a lot of these in certain areas, so I won't have to just spend so much money making a set to film in, which is fun, because I actually built a set in my laundry room. I actually built a set in my laundry room that I can film for talking head moments that I'm probably going to do more of this year, of going into 2021. But that's number 7. So number 7 is fun because I've only been using my camera that I have. It's a Canon EOS M50 Mark II. I've only been using it for about a little less than 20 days now, and I've already filmed so much with that camera, and I've already taken so many pictures, and I'm kind of like proud that I did that. And again, with the more stuff I do, that just feeds me as a creator. The more I'm going to just keep putting out. That's actually why I want to keep exploring new possibilities and exploring new things. And that's why I've invested in so many courses as well, to learn stuff, because I can't really go to school right now in the conventional sense, because the world is on fire, basically. But with that part being out of the way, number 8, and this is the last one, and this is honestly the one that's going to wrap up the entire thing. Even though, again, like I said last year, I have 100,000 goals that I really want to do for the year, but I need to write down less than 10 so I can get those 10 in line, and to avoid distraction and discernment. Well, to avoid distraction and better my discernment abilities. But the last goal that I have set for myself is to collaborate and ask for help when needed. That's kind of self-explanatory. But last year, again, I set a goal for collaborating with more artists and collaborating with more creators and characters in general. I don't know why I said characters, but characters make sense. And in doing that, I just want to talk to people. I want to make those connections. I want to broaden my perspective. And I've done that a lot this year. So much to the point where it's kind of hurting to keep it all inside, basically. But I want to keep doing that, and I want to do it in a better fashion. Meeting up with people is not, and it's probably not going to be the best thing to do, but I prefer to meet people face to face so we can actually talk these things out. I finally made a Zoom account in August for a entrepreneurship course that I took, and I literally planned on deleting that Zoom account because of all the security concerns and stuff like that in November after that course was over, but I still have it on my laptop right now. So that's kind of how I've decided to handle the collaboration effort. So I'm going to be doing stuff on Zoom. I'm going to be doing stuff in real life as well. Live action. Yeah, I'm going to say live action. But that's how that's going to work. And asking for help when needed. That's, again, this is kind of a two-parter, but yeah, I'm actually going to need a lot of help investing into a real estate property, and not necessarily because of money concerns or anything like that. It's actually just going to be because I want to make sure I can invest properly and not get swindled or not lose any value as well. And asking for help also goes back to goal number 2, which is to change my perspective. Actually, it can go for all of these, quite literally. And it's going to go for all of these because I can't do any of these things that I actually cannot do any of these things that I've written down alone. And that's why I have, I'm going to have to write that one down. But that's why I will have partners in crime. I'm going to have a whole squad, a whole a whole Suicide Squad. Yeah, that's what popped in my head. Oh, Will Smith, why did you do that? Anyway, I'm going to build a team this year to help me do the things that I want. I already have a couple of people. I already have an assistant that I've hired. She doesn't know that I did that already, but she probably does and doesn't care. But I've already hired an assistant to help me with a large bulk of the workload that I'm going to be taking on this year. I already have certain relationships set out, and I've had certain relationships cut as well, because I've had to do that. I've had to finally do that, and that's a whole can of worms that I don't want to get into just yet. But going into this year, everyone, learn to cut off certain relationships that you deem are too strenuous on you. The relationships that take your time, take your money, take your energy, honestly. The 3 things that you need. The 3 things that actually work for you in life. Time, money, and energy. And honestly, as you get older, you have less time, you got more money, and you have a little bit of energy. Or you have no energy, a lot of time, and a lot of money. Or you get it. It's just, it's those 3 that you have to be careful with. And that's something that I've come to realize. I realized it in August when I decided to make that decision. After the 15th time, I finally made that decision again. But yeah, that's my piece of motivation for the year. Don't cut anybody out of your life that you know you need, but at the same time, be selective in your choices. Be selective when you ask for help. Be selective in feigning your weaknesses. Be very selective. Be careful too. I'm talking to myself more than I'm talking to you all, but again, if you're hearing me, please do that, because it is going to save you a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of energy in the future. And I've already gone over my time limit. I had a feeling that was going to happen, and with each passing year, especially if I keep doing these, and I'm probably going to keep doing these, it's going to get longer and longer and longer and longer, but it's going to be much more worth the while. And so this has been my year, the year of our Lord 2020. a year in the rear view. These are my goals for the year. These are my pieces of content to fine-tune life. And yeah, so if you all have enjoyed this video, please give the video a like, subscribe, so we can basically make more of these and continue to share the story, can share the message, and walk by purpose and all that good stuff. And tell me in the comments section, what are your goals for 2020? Because I'm going to be posting this a lot. I'm going to post this to a couple places, and I kind of don't care who sees it, but I just have to say I'm going to do it for me. And that's kind of the motivation that you all should take as well. Like, do things for you. Don't cut those relationships out that are just toxic, and do things for you that actually satisfy you. Because I am doing that now, and it's fun, mostly. But with that being said, and with my time being grossly over, I want to thank you all for watching, and until next time, I will catch you all later.